All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining. You're welcome to Waziki Health Talk. Waziki Health Talk is a series Waziki Live started to have conversations and really have questions answered around issues that we have as regards our health, our daily living, and how we can generally live better. Today we have Dr. Oluwatobi on the call with us. He will be giving us an introduction and answering any questions you may have as regards our topic. And today's topic is really an interesting one. It is the real effect of alcohol on the body and mind, right? We're looking at how does alcohol affect our minds, how does it affect our body across different stages of our lives, right? And if you have any questions, please use the chat option to drop your questions as we go on. So let's quickly meet Dr. Toby. Dr. Oluwatobi is a medical doctor that specializes in general health, right? He has been working with us for a while now, and he is also live on Waziki. So he's our consultant on Waziki Live platform. Uh, Dr. Luwatobi, hello, are you there?
All right. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. You're welcome. Yeah, by the way, my name is Remy. I'll just be anchoring this session. I work with Waziki Life also. So let's dive right in.
Yeah,
So Dr. Luwatobi, yeah. So let us know where does alcohol come from? What really is contained in alcohol? What does alcohol, how do we really define what alcohol is?
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Oluwatobi. And today I'm going to be talking about alcohol, its various effects on the body as well as mind. I would just like to give a quick shout out to Waziki for giving me this opportunity to speak on this very important topic. So basically, going right into it, alcohol basically is an organic compound. The common name that we know is as ethanol. That's the major constituent of most alcohol beverages that we see around our daily lives. There are various types of alcohol. They could come in beer. They could come in the distilled form, the pure form, which is seen as liquor. They could come in red wine. But the major constituent of this alcohol is what is known as ethanol. I'm sure most of us will know what ethanol is from our early days in biology, and also in chemistry as well too. So ethanol basically was gotten earlier from lives from fermentation of sugar, basically. Well, when sugar is allowed to still for a long period of time, it was noticed that it has this bitter taste and it gives this particular effects on the body system, basically. So over time, people have tried to redefine this alcohol and basically use it for other purposes in life. So basically, alcohol basically is an organic compound that contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, basically. Those are the major constituents of it. And I'm sure we know that it contains some other aspects of it that makes its effects pronounced in human being. So basically that's what alcohol is all about. It contains basically ethanol. There are other forms of alcohol that also should not be consumed. We have the methanol; those ones are quite toxic to the body. So it's just basically the ethanol that is favorable to the body. So knowing what alcohol is basically, from there I will go next to how alcohol basically is absorbed in the body, how it performs various effects, as well as how various organs respond to the effects of alcohol. So basically, once an individual ingests or take in alcohol, it's absorbed, it goes straight into the GI tract, to the mouth, to the stomach, and to the intestine. It's been said that within an hour, alcohol can be absorbed from the intestine straight into the bloodstream. So an individual can start to see the effects of alcohol within an hour of taking it. So it's also very important to know how this alcohol is being absorbed into the body, how it's broken down, and how it goes about to the various organs to perform its effect. So like I said earlier on, so it's goes when you take alcohol into the body, it goes straight to the stomach and as well as the intestine, and from there it's absorbed into the body. From the bloodstream, it goes to various organs in the body. The major organ that is involved in the breakdown of alcohol is the liver. The liver is a very important organ, and it's said to responsible for about 80 to 90% of the absorption and basically the breakdown of alcohol. So basically, if anybody has any liver impairments or liver disease, they tend to process alcohol separate from the general population. And that's why we commonly tell people that the major organ that is likely to be damaged for chronic alcohol use is the liver, because the liver is the major organ that is involved in the breakdown of the alcohol. The other 10%, like I said, can also be found in the lungs, it can be found in the sweat, it can be found in various parts of the body. That's why road safety officers use what is this device known as breath analyzer to detect alcohol in your body, because a percentage of it is also excreted in your breath as well too. So they can also use that to detect people that are intoxicated while driving. So going down to the liver. So basically, liver is an organ in the body that oxidizes and breaks down alcohol. So how does it do this? So basically, when alcohol is absorbed into the bloodstream, it goes straight to the liver. The liver cells, there's an enzyme in the liver cells that helps to break down alcohol. And this enzyme is quite significant. I'm going to talk about how significant the enzyme is later on. The enzyme is known as alcohol dehydrogenase, like the name implies, alcohol dehydrogenase. So basically, it breaks down alcohol into acetaldehyde, the toxic form of it that produces most of the effect that you see in the body. So this acetaldehyde is then further broken down by another enzyme known as acetaldehyde dehydrogenase that breaks it down to acetic acid that is then excreted as CO2 and as well as water. So this breakdown helps to how do I put it now? It helps to get rid of the effects of alcohol. So the faster the liver breaks down your alcohol, the more you are likely to recover from the effects of alcohol. So the longer alcohol stays in your bloodstream, the more you see the effects of alcohol. So anything that affects that particular pathway tends to increase the period whereby an individual is under the influence of alcohol. So basically, so there are various other factors that affect how alcohol is absorbed into the bloodstream. The first and foremost is the most important thing is food. It stands to reason if there's food in your stomach, it tends to affect the rate of absorption of alcohol, such that if you have food present in your stomach, alcohol is it's absorbed less compared to someone that has an empty stomach. That's why we tell people to not take alcohol on empty stomach, so that they don't get to see the effect of alcohol faster than they would expect. Another thing is that generally, looking at the general population, when you compare male and female, it's been said that male obviously have more body mass index and have more fat tissues compared to the females. And because of that reason, an alcohol is hydrophilic and less likely lipophilic. So it doesn't have affiliation for fat cells. So it doesn't get absorbed in the fat cells. So it stays longer in the adipose in the bloodstream. So any individual that has high body mass, such as the males, tend to have alcohol absorbed, stay longer in their adipose tissues rather than in the bloodstream. So it's been said that females tend to have longer effects of alcohol, intoxication of alcohol, or gets intoxicated faster than males because of that reason. It's also been said that the enzyme, like I mentioned earlier, the alcohol dehydrogenase, is actually less in females compared to male. Genetically, no one knows the reason why. And because of that reason, if the enzyme is not available, of course, alcohol will not be broken down faster than it should. So it tends to stay longer in the bloodstream. So females tend to have the effect of alcohol intoxication faster and longer compared to males as well. And another important factors that also affect the absorption, that is common practice that people commonly do, I'm sure most times we go to the club, we see people taking carbonated drinks with their alcohol because basically they want to dilute the effect of alcohol. But what they don't know is that carbonated drinks tend to increase the rate of absorption of alcohol. So if you are taking carbonated drinks such as Coke with your alcohol, you are more likely to get intoxicated faster than a general population. So in short, the effect that you're trying to prevent is what you're actually doing inadvertently. Knowing that, so it's been said that the liver tends to process about 10 to 7 to 10 grams of alcohol per hour. So, and we know from our standard beer, like for example, let me use the 5% common one, the 5% beer that is available. 5% means that there's 5 grams of that alcohol in 100 mils. And our common beers usually come in 300, 350 to 370 mils. So that gives us roughly about 18 grams. So if the liver clears about 9 grams of alcohol per hour, and an individual is taking close to 10 bottles, that will give you about 180 grams. You can imagine how long it will take the liver to clear that effect. So that's why people still have effect of alcohol even 24 hours after taking it, because it can take the liver that long to clear the grams that is produced from alcohol, basically. So going to the various effects alcohol has on the body. The effect of alcohol basically is a paradox, such that in little amounts, it has a different effect when it's taken in excess amount. When alcohol is taken in moderate amount, it has a psychostimulant effect, that is, it stimulates the activities of the brain, such that it helps you to have this euphoric effect. You feel alive, you feel active. But in taking it in excess amounts, tends to produce the reverse, such that it causes depression, such that you start becoming sluggish, your speech becomes slurred, as well as your balance too is also affected. So basically, that also takes me to the part where I have to talk about when it comes to drinking alcohol, there are various things. There are various things that you need to take into consideration. There's what is known as mild to moderate drinking, and there's what is known as heavy drinking, and there's also what is known as binge drinking. Generally, according to research, it's been said that the moderate drinking is what is regarded as if an individual for a male takes less than 2 drinks per day. That's about 5% of the normal beer, or about 10 mils of the distilled liquor, that's the vodka that we commonly know. And for males and for females, about 1 drinks per day, or 4 drinks per week. That's the moderate or average drinking rates that is well recognized. Anything above that is known as heavy drinking or excess drinking. And then taking more than 4 drinks within a 2 hours period is known as binge drinking. So those those 2 things are not good for the body as well. So basically, there's this concept known as the blood alcohol concentration. Basically, that's the amount of alcohol that is in your bloodstream. And it's been said that at a rate of 0.05 percent, depending on individual, of course, everybody has their own rate at which they process alcohol based on different things that earlier specified, body features, as well as the presence of the enzymes, or if they have it in moderate amount or in large amount as well. So it's been said that if the blood alcohol concentration is greater than 0.5%, the individual starts to see the effects of alcohol, basically the euphoric effects, like I said earlier on, that starts first, as well as the various other things. So alcohol, like I said, crosses the brain barrier, goes to the brain, has a various effect on the brain. It goes to the cortex, and that's the part of the brain that is responsible for thinking, that's responsible for judgment, that's responsible for making right decisions. And once it goes people that take alcohol for a long period of time tend to develop liver cirrhosis, which is basically when the liver cells are replaced by dead tissues, and then that starts to affect the liver function. So prolonged use of alcohol tends to cause liver cirrhosis, liver failure, and various other things on the liver as well. So that's why we don't tell people that have a background alcohol, a background liver disease to take alcohol. So another thing is that because of the toxic effects of alcohol, it also affects the lining of the GI tract from the mouth down to the stomach, and it eats into these mucosas or all these structures, and that itself can develop a patient can develop ulcer. So prolonged use of alcohol can make an individual develop gastric ulcer as well too. So people that have a background history or a known peptic ulcer disease patient are not advised to take alcohol so that it doesn't worsen or cause them to have ulcer as well. So the alcohol basically, since is present in the bloodstream, affects all the body systems. I'm just trying to pick up on the important ones. It also goes to the pancreas. We know what the pancreas is involved in maintaining sugar level. So when alcohol goes to the pancreas, it's also toxic to the pancreatic cells. It eats them up such that the pancreatic cells start to die off, and in that inability, they can't control the sugar level of the body. That's why prolonged use of alcohol can also predispose you to having diabetes later in life because of the imbalance in sugar management and regulation as well. So basically, that's just a summary of the various structures in the body which alcohol affects: the brain, the liver, the GI tract itself, the pancreas, as well as also has various effects. Alcohol is an osmotic acid substance, so it has a diuretic effect. That's why you see most alcoholic people tend to excrete a lot because of the diuretic effect of alcohol on the body. And one other thing that I need to ask is that alcohol basically, you can say that 1 gram of alcohol generates about 7 calories. That's quite a lot. That's only second to fat. So drinking alcohol actually gives you more energy than taking carbohydrates, such as your yam, your rice. It gives you more energy. But the thing about this alcohol, the thing is that the cholesterol is known as empty cholesterol. Basically, it's a kind of cholesterol that the body cannot use for its day-to-day activities. It just stays in the body and is stored in various parts of the body, commonly the abdominal walls. That's why you see people, alcoholics, chronic alcoholics, tend to have pot belly because of deposition of that excess energy in the body, in the fatty tissues. So basically, you realize that alcoholics tend to, you wonder how alcoholics can survive on alcohol without eating, because the body actually gives them a lot of calories, but this calorie, they can't use it to process day-to-day activities, but rather they just store it as excess fat in their body tissues. Another thing is that alcohol not only gives that calorie, it also prevents you from absorbing various vitamins and minerals that are important to your body. One of them is vitamin A, which is necessary for skin regeneration, skin vitalization, and everything. That's why you see people that are chronic alcohol users tend to have rough skin, and they're always looking older than they have because of absence of vitamin A in their body. There are various other vitamins that it also affects too. It also prevents you from absorbing vitamin D as well. And that's, vitamin D is very important in absorbing calcium. So people that are chronic alcohol users tend to have low calcium levels in their body, and that can affect their bones as they grow older, such that they start developing bone diseases later on in life. So knowing all these various things and how alcohol have these various effects on body organs makes to explain why an individual will have similar effects, or all these euphoric effects, as well as all these various effects that you see when someone is on alcohol. It's because of the various mechanisms by which it acts on this different body system. So going to the next slide, there's this common question that people usually ask: is alcohol actually beneficial to the body? Well, that aspect of speech is actually very, very controversial. It's been said that, like I said earlier on, there's what is known as mild to moderate drinking, there's what is known as heavy drinking, and there's what is known as pink drinking. It's been said that individuals that drink mild to moderately every day, like I said, for meals, less than 2 drinks per day. If it's for beer, that's 2 beers per day. For the vodka aspect, just like 10 meals of it in a day for males, and for females, less than 1 drink per day. So any individuals that fall into that group, that take alcohol in moderate amounts. It's said that alcohol has beneficial effects on the heart itself. It helps to prevent you from developing cardiovascular diseases, such that as well as also prevent you from developing other heart diseases that can arise later on in life. Because if you take it in moderate amounts, as opposed to taking it in heavy amounts, whereby it produces the reverse effects. Some research has also shown that it's not really the alcohol itself that has this effect. It's been said that in red wine, there's antioxidants that also help to mediate this effect, to produce this cardioprotective effects. So it's not really the alcohol itself, from the red wine constituent that also contains other nutrients like antioxidants that helps to break down all this excess buildup stress in the body, to prevent you from having cardiovascular diseases as well. So those are the various ways by which. So usually we tell people that drink in moderation. So if you are the kind of person that can control your alcohol intake and you have been taking it in moderation for a while, you can continue with it. You don't need to you don't force such a person to stop if they can control it. For those that are not because the risk associated with alcohol is actually more than the benefits. So basically, we tell those ones that have not been taking alcohol not to take alcohol at all. So because it's very difficult to actually control. Once you start it, you might get addicted to it. You might start to become dependent to it as well. So that also affects basically that aspect of it. So for those that are heavy drinkers, we tell them to stop, to seek help from various rehabilitation centers or various psychotherapy sessions to help them to cure this addiction that they have. So basically, that's an aspect of it. And there's one other thing I forgot to add as well. Alcohol basically also has effect on the reproductive system. That's also very important. That's a question that I need to answer. It also has the effect on the reproductive system. We know that there are some structures in the brain that controls the hormones that are secreted, that helps in sexual function as well as sexual reproductions. The testosterone, the estrogens that helps in sexual activities are produced from organs in the brain. And we all know that the alcohol has so much effects on the brain. So it suppresses these centers. So basically by reducing the amount of those hormones, those sex hormones that are produced, and those ones are needed in performance as well as in production. So they can suppress those hormones, and such individuals can have infertility over a long period of time. It can also lead to delayed ejaculation, as well as also affect erection in some ways too, because those are the hormones that mediate those various actions as well. We also tell women that are pregnant not to take alcohol, because alcohol too, like I said, alcohol is toxic to the brain cells. So if a developing fetus is exposed to alcohol early in life while the brain is developing, the fetus, when they come out of the when they are delivered, they tend to have various brain neurological development diseases that have been induced due to the alcohol that their mother took while in utero. So those are, we tell pregnant women not to take alcohol because it has an injurious effect on the brain cells. So those are the various body organs in which alcohol has its effects. So knowing all this and knowing how to go about this helps to prevent individuals from developing various diseases from this as well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Toby. Thank you. I think I just want to quickly, we have some comments, questions in the chat as regards this particular question. So someone said, wine is made from grapes, which are fruits. Does that mean I can use it as an alternative to fruits?
The thing is, the grapes that that makes up alcohol are fermented, so they have been acted upon by microorganisms. So the effects that you would get, the nutritional effect that you would get from just taking ordinary grapes are no more there, because the microorganisms have broken them down to a simpler form, such that the form that the body cannot use to get nutritional value, but can only store as excess fats. So using alcohol as a substitute to grapes is not advised, basically. I hope that answers that question.
I think so. I think we have another one that says, how many grams before an individual gets alcohol poisoning? Does it depend on body mass ratio or water intake?
Okay, yes. Definitely, it depends on the body mass ratio. Like I said, if you have the higher your body mass ratio, the less tends to stay longer. Tends to stay longer in your body mass instead of being in the bloodstream. So the higher your body mass, the less likely you are going to get intoxicated with a normal level that someone with a low body mass will take. So it's been said that, like I said, it's been said that about 14 grams of alcohol by a week for a female and 21 for females. Anything above that is tend to give you the alcohol poisoning, but also that depends on tolerance levels, the amount of the enzymes that is present in the individual. Every individual has different levels of that enzyme. So those are the various factors, but generally looking at the general population, it's been said that taking more than 14 grams a week or 21 for males or 14 grams for females can make you start to have features of alcohol poisoning. And in a sitting, taking 4 drinks more than within a 2 hours period, also depending on subjected to various body characteristics, to most likely would allow it to make you develop alcohol poisoning as well.
Wow. So it looks like, to me, the negatives, outweigh the positive benefits.
Yes,
right?
there are more risks associated with drinking alcohol than benefits. But like I said, if you are the type that you're a social drinker that take alcohol in moderation and you've been taking it like that for a while, we don't usually force or implore that such person to stop if they don't have any background organ disease or anything. We don't usually implore them to stop. But those that are heavy drinkers that are dependent on alcohol, that have various alcohol use disorders, usually employ them to stop. And those that have not taken alcohol before, we don't tell them to start because there are some benefits of taking alcohol. We don't tell them because the risk outweighs the benefits. So we don't advise them to take alcohol. But if you've been taking it in moderation, yeah, we don't force individuals to stop.
Well, it's quite interesting because we begin to wonder, so why was it made at all if the benefits were so minimal, so small?
Well, it's just like any other hard drugs, the cocaine, the amphetamine, because of the euphoric effects. People, alcohol over the years, alcohol has been used as a means of celebration, means of having enjoyment and all those things. So because of the euphoric effects it gives in a short term, most people don't consider the long-term effect of it.
Okay, I think in trying to see the benefits also, somebody is asking, does moderate alcohol make you sleep better?
Yes, that's very true. Alcohol, that's one of the benefits of alcohol. Alcohol, like I said, affects the various parts of the brain. It affects a part of the brain known as the limbic system that controls the sleep cycle of an individual. So it's once it's suppressed, it makes the individual more likely to sleep faster. So some people that have insomnia has also been known to use alcohol to help them to sleep, but it's not a medically prescribed method. There are other better ways of treating insomnia as well. But those are one of the benefits of alcohol. It helps individuals to sleep. It also helps people that have issues eating, people that don't have appetite. Alcohol also helps to increase the hunger centers of the brain. So alcohol in moderation also helps you to eat better. So some people also use it to also help them eat better. But of course, in excess amounts, it suppresses this and produces an opposite effect.
Great. Wait, just before we move on, I can see that Mark has loads of questions. Mark, can you unmute and just ask Dr. Oluwatobi your questions? Hello, Mark. Okay. So I'll just read out some of his questions. He says that does it change for older people? Can older people process alcohol faster than younger people? Then is there any help for alcoholics in Nigeria?
Yes, as you grow older, your body mass ratio tends to reduce because most of your cells are dying out from aging and everything. So knowing that people with less body mass tend to get intoxicated faster because alcohol gets absorbed more in their bloodstream faster. So it's elderly people tend to get more intoxicated compared to a general population of young people. But of course, it still depends on various other structures. If the person has a background liver disease or heart disease, or even with the level of the enzyme, like I said earlier on, if it has a lower aspect of it. And there's also something known as tolerance. It's been said that most people that take alcohol over a long period of time tend to build tolerance for it, such that it's the normal effects, that normal amount of alcohol that will cause a desired effect tend to reduce over a period of time. So chronic alcoholics tend to have dependent tolerance levels as well too, such that they don't have those intoxicating effects, even with a level that a general population would start having alcohol poisoning from. So that also has to be considered as well. But with aging, it's expected that you have more pronounced effects from alcohol than the young generation.
All right, thank you. So I think the next question is: are there any risk factors one should know? I think you've mentioned some, or are there more you think we should know?
And well, there's also some rule of thought that has also said that alcohol contains carcinogens, so there's also a risk of developing cancers of the GI tract, various of the mouth, of the throat, of the esophagus, of the stomach, as well as colorectal cancer too, has been seen to be more common in people that take alcohols because of the carcinogenic effect of alcohol too. So the risk of cancers is also one of the risk that's associated with taking alcohol for a long period of time.
Great. So I think we should do a little bit of activity. So what would you prescribe alcohol intake for 30 years and below, right? For 40 years and above, 40 to 50 years, male and female, right?
Okay.
What if we could prescribe like level of alcohol intake, what would that look like?
I won't
And you can
necessarily.
talk in terms of products, right? Maybe one bottle of red wine. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't voluntarily prescribe alcohol, so to say, for individuals that have not taken alcohol before. So it's not something I would want to do. But for those that have taken alcohol, if they want to know if the level they have been taking is okay, or if it's too much for them, like I said, for the beer, let's start with the beer. One bottle of beer a day for a female, or a male, 2 bottles of beer. Of course, you also have to know that if he or she has any background liver disease, renal disease, this has to be known too. Or if they have any background health risk factors too, that also has to be known first before you take alcohol, because it has various effects. So like I said, for a beer, 1 bottle of beer a day for females, two, less than two, or two, thereabouts for males. For the red wine, it's been said that less than 30 mils per day, 35 for males, 30 for females. The distilled one, the vodka that most people know, a shot, that's those small bottles, one of it a day or two of it for males a day is the required amount. As well as for people that take in a sitting, you shouldn't take, like I said, in a sitting, you shouldn't take more than 3 beers for females, 4 for males in a sitting within a 2 hours period. That's not good. That's already binge drinking. So there are the various things. And as you age, the amount tends to reduce. So if you've been taking 2 when you are in your 30s, when you are 40s, you should start reducing the amount, because you're more likely to get alcohol poisoning as you age faster with similar amount of it.
Great. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that response.
Okay.
So we have some questions from the registration form. So somebody asked, is there any help available for alcoholics in Nigeria?
Yes, there are some rehabilitation centers around. I know of this SNAPS rehabilitation center. It has various centers in Lagos, Abuja. I don't know how readily available it is, and they have this non-disclosure agreement. So if you need privacy, in terms of getting help, they provide that as well. There are also some AA groups as well. I saw some AA groups online too that they also provide help for chronic alcohol users or people that have alcohol use disorders as well. So basically, what people that speaking to a therapist as well can also help, because there's an aspect of psychotherapy too that also helps to help alcohol disorders as well too. So not necessarily going to a rehab center. You can also see a therapist as well for that, because it also constitutes substance abuse as well too. So there are various centers around, but I don't know how ready available they are, but there are various centers around that help alcoholics to seek help. And okay, there's a question here that, so does red wine cause cancer too? Yes, red wine also cause cancer too. Basically, any form of alcoholic beverage that contains ethanol, if taking it in excess amounts, it's definitely increase your risk of developing cancer later in life. But like I said earlier, red wine also contains antioxidants. So if you take it in moderate amounts, it helps to um, give you the benefits that, like I said, it reduces your risk of developing um, cardiovascular disease only if taken in moderation too.
Thank you for that. There's another question around what are alcohol withdrawal symptoms?
Okay. Yes. Alcohol withdrawal symptoms are a spectrum of symptoms that ranges from the mild to the moderate. Basically, what it entails is that individuals that have become dependent on alcohol, that they can't do without alcohol, they urge or try to have alcohol. If for some reason whatsoever they try to cut down the intake of alcohol suddenly or gradually, they tend to develop a spectrum of symptoms. That's basically what it means, that the body is already used to this level of alcohol that they take. So in trying to seek balance, trying to seek homeostasis, basically, the body tries to adjust to this new state of not taking alcohol. So you have symptoms like tremors, you have symptoms like the patient becomes anxious, there's vomiting, and it ranges from 12 hours to 5 days, but usually over a period of time, it tends to stop over a 5-day period. And people also tend to take more alcohol to curb that effect. So those are the things that people that are into therapy to have to take into consideration. They don't just cut down the intake of alcohol for those that are dependent on it, so that they don't develop withdrawal symptoms. So they are slowly taking off it so that they don't relapse, basically. So that's what alcohol withdrawal symptoms refers to.
Yeah, and then I think we need to know here at what point what makes it addictive? What makes
Okay.
alcohol? What can you do?
Just like any other, just like it has the same effect as every other hard drugs, cocaine. Basically, they have the same effect. So basically, it's been said that there's a aspect of the brain known as the reward center that sort of rewards the body for performing an action. So basically what it entails is that once you take alcohol, it goes to the other part of the brain. It releases various psychoactive substances like dopamine, um, endorphins as well. They give this euphoric effect. So that euphoric effect sort of acts on the reward center such that it makes the body feel like, yes, he or she has to seek this substance more to have this euphoric effect. So once that particular aspect of the brain has been sensitized, it makes it very difficult to stop taking alcohol, such that you are always looking to ingest it to have that euphoric effect. So it makes it quite addictive in that way. So just how also other drugs, addictive drugs, they also have through the same mechanisms as alcohol as well.
All right. So we have an interesting conversation going on here.
Okay.
The caller had dropped a comment and said that, thank you for your previous answer on alcohol poisoning. A further question. You spoke of the impact of alcohol on the embryo from the mother's consumption during pregnancy. However, are there any adverse effects caused by male consumption of alcohol during conception? For example, if alcohol levels in the body, in the blood were high.
Okay, does she mean like if the man is intoxicated during pregnancy, can it affect the woman getting pregnant? Or if the woman is pregnant, I don't quite understand.
Okay. I think she said yes, if the man is intoxicated.
Oh, okay. I affect the man himself. If the man is intoxicated, he's less likely to produce enough sperm. Even if it does, it's the quality of those sperms are not optimal. Either that deformed in shape or in size. So is less likely to even fertilize the egg in the first place, or even produce or sperm cells or ejaculate. So inevitably, it won't even affect. And then body has a safe mechanism such that if the quality of the sperm is bad, the body has a safe mechanism that it tends to destroy such sperm cell when they try to fertilize the egg. So it's unlikely for a defective sperm to fertilize properly an egg. So it's I don't think the man being intoxicated has any effect on the woman, except the woman herself is intoxicated.
So it's not possible. Are you saying it's not possible at all?
Of course, there's never in medicine, but it's less likely that a man being intoxicated affects the chance of a woman having their egg fertilized. No, it's less likely. It affects individuals individuals as a whole. Not there's no connecting effect.
That's very interesting. Okay, so we'll move on to the next question. I think we've touched on this a bit, the nutritional value of alcohol. I think we also have the effects of alcohol at old age. What are the effects of alcohol at old age? I think you've touched on it a bit, but just to give another reminder.
Okay. For the elderly, another thing that I need to add is that like I said, alcohol is injurious to the brain cells. So elderly people, there's a high risk of them developing neurodevelopmental neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's. So they are more likely to develop memory loss or issues when they become old. So those are the long-term effects it has in elderly, apart from the background liver disease that it can cause, type 2 DM that it can cause, as well as also kidney disease and various cardiovascular diseases that can also cause as you grow older. So those are the major effects as on elderly.
All right, thank you so much for that. So we have some other questions that not related to alcohol, but some of our attendees have asked when filling the registration form, right? So one is, what kind of regular checks should a woman in her late 30s continually be concerned about?
Well, I'm not sure that's but for women in their late 30s, they should regularly have what is known as pap smear done because of the high risk of developing cervical cancer. And if there's any family history of hypertension or diabetes, they should check their blood sugar and blood pressure regularly at that stage. If there's any family history of breast or ovarian cancer, they can also do regular breast examination or mammography. So if any breast lump is present, can be detected early before it becomes cancerous. So those are the basic checkup that women in their 30s should do continually so as to prevent them from developing disease later on.
Okay. All right. In line with benefits. Sorry. Okay, can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
All right. So in line with benefits of alcohol for the body, somebody is also asking, what's the benefits of sugar in our body system?
What's the benefit of sugar in our body system? Well, body breaks down sugar to give energy to perform various metabolic activities that the body does. So, of course, sugar is very important, but of course, in excess amount of it, there's a particular amount the body can metabolize in a particular amount of time. So if you are taking too much of it, the excess amount of it is stored as fat in various body tissues, and that can lead to other injurious effects. So sugar in moderate amounts is good for the body, but in excess, it can have adverse effects.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Oluwatobi. I think it's been an interesting chat with you. We have so many questions around general health, and we would like to tell everyone that Dr. Toby is available for free consultations on Waziki Live. I'm just going to drop the website for us to visit and register, right? Dr. Toby is having free consultations all through this week, all through this month. So you can book an appointment with Dr. Toby on wazikilife.com. It's also available on App Store and the Google Play Store. Any time of the week that you are free, reach out to Dr. Toby and he'll be there to answer your questions as regards general health. And even if you feel unwell in some certain ways and need help getting prescriptions, getting a doctor's report, we'll have that also on the platform. And the most interesting thing is you can come anonymously, right? You can book your consultations and be anonymous. The doctor doesn't have to know who you are, doesn't have to know your name. You're just there to get help from the doctor, and that is what we are giving. So you can tell your friends about it, tell people you know that, I've been having a series of headaches, but I've been doing self-medication, right? Say no to self-medication, right? Speak to a doctor for free on wazikilife.com. And that is it for today. Thank you, everyone. I think I'll just do a quick shout out to everyone. Thank you, Abimbola. Thank you, Bukola Adejigbe. Thank you, Bukola Shotinwa. Thank you, Comfort Karen, for joining. Thank you for UT. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Omolola Keleko. Keleko. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Tech. Thank you, Toby. Oh, that's Dr. Toby. Thank you, Oche, for joining. Thank you, Wumi Oyesami. Thank you, Yinkande Niji. We appreciate you all. We'll be sending a follow-up email to you and the recording of the session also. So we'll see you on Waziki Live this week. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, Dr. Oluwatobi. It's been a great
Thank you everyone for the interactive section. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye, everyone.